what makes this movie completely fucking out of control is the fact that they're like, no, let's make them teenagers. Let's make them really rich, homophobic teenagers.
And let's shove Sarah Michelle Gellar in as many suits and bustiers as we humanly can.
Right.
Your back.
Welcome to Cinematics Problematics, where we celebrate your guilty pleasures. I'm Chrissy Redding.
And I am Erin Maxwell.
And today we are talking about Roger Kumbel's 1999 film Cruel Intentions, which is based off of the 1988 Stephen Frears film Dangerous Liaisons, which is based on the Pierre-Ambroise François Chaudelot de Leclos, 1782 book Les Liaisons Dangereuses. In the original film, Glenn Close and John Malkovich play wealthy members of French society who are also part-time wannabe lovers who relish in destroying people's lives via gossip, sex, and revenge. In Cruel Intentions, we quickly learn that these characters are now high school-age step-siblings who have the exact same hobbies and the exact same desire to have sex with one another. At this point, we know exactly what type of movie we're about to watch. Like in the original, Katherine wants to ruin her ex's new girlfriend to get back at him for dumping her, and Sebastian has his sights set on a new conquest in the form of Annette, a principled virgin who vows on saving herself for marriage. All the while, Katherine is attempting to maintain her image, to appear altruistic while wreaking chaos, as Sebastian attempts to break down his toxic playboy image in order to get Annette in the sack so that he can eventually sleep with Katherine for winning the bet. The film takes several twists and turns as Katherine and Sebastian make these supporting characters their playthings as virtue is stolen and hearts are broken. The film is also pretty homophobic, totally okay with sexual assault, and a bit sexist in terms of showing who's worthy of redemption and who isn't. The film stars Sarah Michelle Gellar, Ryan Phillipe, Reese Witherspoon, Selma Blair, Joshua Jackson, Christine Baranski, Sean Patrick Thomas, and Swoosie Kurtz, and has a runtime of 1 hour and 37 minutes. Erin, do you want to talk about the first time you saw this film?
I went to the theater.
Me too.
I could not wait. I saw it in the movie theater. I saw it on like Friday night when it opened. I was with my friends. I was stoked.
We might have been in the same theater because I did the same exact thing.
It was awesome. I was just so excited to see it. And I liked Dangerous Liaisons, the original film. I've always loved it. Mm-hmm. I liked all the PBS versions that ever came out. The Valmont that came out later on. I liked every version of it that came out except for the more recent TV versions.
Right. I didn't even bother to watch those. So Dangerous Liaisons is one of my favorite films of all time. I have seen it way too many times. It is problematic. I think it's just as problematic as this movie is.
It's from a novel written in the 1700s, and apparently they were cool with 38-year-old dudes kind of coercing 14-year-olds into sex.
Right.
And, you know, who am I to argue with history and court politics? You can't realistically hold today's standards up to something that happened in the 1780s.
This is true. Yeah, but I think like I think that even like when I first saw it, so first of all, when I first saw the original like Dangerous Liaisons, I went with my mom and like my brothers or something, and my mom was much less permissive than my dad, and she was like covering my eyes like during certain parts. But even as like a kid, I knew that this film was like there were a lot of wrong things happening in it, right?
Oh yeah.
And Cruel Intentions is kind of like the campy like younger sister who gets away with bloody murder. Like it is like that relation to the original Dangerous Liaisons. It like from the jump like gives zero fucks. And it's like we know this from the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, the original novel just followed aristocrats in pre-revolutionary France who used seduction and deceit as social weapons. That's
right.
And so it actually translates really well to elite prep school. Because
it does.
That social dynamic is still there. It's very much still there. You have your court politics, you have your hierarchy, and it all works.
Right.
It's just the methods in which the kids, because they are kids in this, they're supposed to be 16 or 17.
Right.
That do you want to see kids in these situations?
Well, here's the thing, too. I mean, yes, they're technically in high school, but honestly, like the first time we meet Katherine, she's dressed like a Wall Street banker. Like, I don't know any teenagers who dress like this. Like, they already come off as more adult,
Right.
like than like normal teenagers that we knew when we were in school. Like they like, and Sebastian is like very, I mean, he's like such a tool, but I mean, he's very kind of like well dressed. He talks like with this elitist affect. Like, yes, they're in high school, but the two leads at least don't come off as high schoolers. I think like Selma Blair's character for sure, but everyone else, it's like, I guess like Annette too, like Reese Witherspoon's character, like she kind of can pass for like high school because of like her purity, and she plays like the role pretty straight. She's like the straightest person in this movie. And so I wasn't bothered by the teenageness of it, even though that's what they intended them to be, because I just didn't see it like that because they come off as just way more mature.
It's just that this is a story where very much seduction is power.
Yes.
And that's kind of what makes the movie, the book, and all versions of it pretty fun to watch.
Right.
Because we want that kind of nuances of an erotic thriller.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, look, I mean, that's part of what this makes this movie completely fucking out of control, and is the fact that they're like, no, let's make them teenagers. Let's make them really rich, homophobic teenagers.
And let's shove Sarah Michelle Gellar in as many suits and bustiers as we humanly can.
Right, exactly. And it works. I mean, it works, right?
Yeah,
it's
like, no complaints.
I wouldn't change a thing. I don't want her to dress like a teenager in this. I mean, I think it's peculiar that she is a teenager in this, given how she dresses, but I wouldn't change a thing because it's so representative of her personality and like the image that she's trying to portray, right? So I think I think in a weird way it works. But yeah, this movie is like just it's almost as it is trying to shock us, which I kind of appreciate about it.
And also, like, the characters exist in a bubble. Like, there's no adults here that they aren't tricking.
Right.
Or they're not trying to fool or aren't played as idiots.
Well, you know what?
Every adult here is like, they're just roaming the streets of New York free with a gargantuan amount of cash and no, like, moral center.
The adults are all clueless. And it's kind of almost like a throwback to the 80s movies, like where all the parents were total squares, right?
Right.
It's like they're totally out of touch. They have no idea what's happening. They have no idea what's going on. They're shown to be uptight and elitist and a tad bit racist. And we're talking about Christine Baranski's character. I love that, though, because this movie is obviously it's not playing to adults. It's playing to kind of like a college crowd in a way.
It plays to people who like high camp.
Yes.
And that's exactly what this is. I feel like that was the joy of the script when people first read it, is like it's just a high camp script.
Yeah.
Everybody is over the top. Nobody like this exists in real life. Maybe Annette, maybe Cecile, possibly. But even Cecile is so naive that it's almost impossible to believe that she exists on a real plane of existence, you know? Like, it's just...
Yeah, there are very few characters that play it straight. I think, like, yeah, Annette for sure. Maybe the music teacher, Ronald.
Sure.
But other than that, I mean, but that's what's lovely about movies like this, is that they're so over the top that it's hard to critique them in a serious way, even, because they are intentionally trying to shock us.
Did you ever originally read the book?
No, I don't read books.
Okay, fair.
I'm just kidding. No, I read books about... I watch movies and TV. When do I have time for books? No, I read nonfiction a lot.
Okay.
But I don't read fiction.
So I read this book many years ago, and I feel like I read it in school. And the thing about this book is that it's told through a series of letters, kind of like Frankenstein in a way.
What do they call it? Epistolary or something like that? Yeah.
And so I like how they convert everything to modern times. So instead of getting that letter format, it all represents in Sebastian's journal.
Right.
I like that because you don't have high court and you don't have all these people that you're trying to impress. It's just the idea of a school body.
Right.
You know, like it just works well as an adaptation.
Oh, it does. I mean, it's almost like some stoned screenwriters got into a room. They're like, dude, what if we remake Dangerous Liaisons, but the two leads are like related and they still want to fuck each other? Then what do we do? Oh, what if the music teacher is black? Oh, you know, it's almost like you could just see the ideas coming to them about how they convert this for like a modern audience for ultimate shock value. And I appreciate that.
They do a good job, though, for skirting any kind of incest issues you might have by making it very clear that these are new stepbrothers and stepsisters in a way. They didn't
Right.
grow up with each other. They
Right.
were who they were before they joined forces recently.
Right. And that was like one thing that I think was missing from the original Dangerous Liaisons film is that Glenn Close and John Malkovich's characters, they seem to have known each other for a while and to have been like up to these antics for a bit, and they're just now talking about sleeping with one another, which is a
Right.
little bit weird, right? But these ones, it's like they kind of shortened the timeline a bit and made it like they made them step siblings, thank God. They were like, we're not gonna go full sib on this one. And like it makes more sense that there's like this simmering new attraction, I guess, to one another given the timing. So yeah, that's one thing I think that they did a little bit of a correction on from my perspective.
I also like, and I'm going to skip to the end a little bit,
Sure.
but when Catherine is found out, and
Yes.
it's because they distributed his journal,
Right.
that's kind of how the book ended.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
yeah, they distributed all the letters that
Yeah.
unfolded the entire correspondence. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, that's so smart. So smart. You guys, you writers, you're so brilliant.
No, they were great. I will get to my thoughts on that ending. I like one thing I do like is like the original film, like it ends with Glenn Close sitting in a mirror like at home, and she's like wiping off her makeup as like tears are streaming down her face, and that's like how the film ends.
Yeah, because her
Because
mask has fallen and she's just
she's
like,
completely exposed, right? It's such a great ending. It's so good. This ending is a little bit is actually they made it a lot different. So this film is more loyal to the original book, whereas Dangerous Liaisons kind of deviates from it a bit. But we'll get to that.
yeah.
Do you want to start diving into the problematic elements of the film?
Oh, sure. Let's begin with the top one. And that
Yeah.
is absolutely Sebastian and Cecile's love scene.
Ooh,
Because
yeah.
it is very much kind of like the book in a way and the movie, in that Sebastian invites Cecile over and then he gets her drunk. Although they don't get her drunk in the movies, but like he coerces her into sex.
Right.
And he does it by blackmailing her, basically saying, I'm going to tell your parents what you're doing here with me, even though I invited you over. It was totally my bad intention, and I put you in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Watch me manipulate the situation even further by making you have sex with me. And
Right.
he does this by first he gets her drunk by giving her Long Island iced teas. And then when she wants to leave, he's like, fine, I'm just going to call your mom to come pick you up. And she's
Mm-hmm.
like, you can't do that. Knowing, and he knows what he's doing. He's like, well, I just want a kiss.
Ugh.
And he goes, I didn't say where I want the kiss. And the whole scene is really gross.
It's
And
super gross.
the thing is like, as I said before, the original context, the original like material was written in the 1700s. So, getting her drunk on Long Island iced teas and calling her mom, that's not part of it. But the coercion part, very much part of it.
Very much.
And it's pretty faithful as far as that is concerned, because he manipulates Cecile in the very same way. And
Yeah.
so that is the scene that gives everybody the ick these days. And rightfully so. It is
For
an
sure.
icky scene.
It's a terrible scene, but I mean that's the character too, right? This is that guy.
Right.
This is how he's like kind of like earned this reputation for being manipulative and handsome and charming and like getting women to do things that they probably otherwise wouldn't do, because he's putting up like this facade like of like, oh, I just want a kiss, I just want this, I just want that. And I would argue that in the original film it's probably a little bit more disturbing,
It is.
because Uma Thurman's character, who is Cecile, she is like literally trying to fight this guy off, and he's literally forcing him. Like
he treats it like a game.
Yeah, and
It's
Sebastian
just
is
a game.
Sebastian is heaving up on the manipulation a little bit more, whereas John Malkovich's character, he was like using force and manipulation. I mean, there's force like with Sebastian as well in this film, but they soften it a bit. It's still super disturbing, but in the original film, I was just like, damn, this is like he's like raping her,
And he gets her pregnant.
Yes.
In the original material. And like they were both really happy that happened until she had a miscarriage.
Right. Yeah.
And so the entire situation in their entire relationship is vile.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. It's really bad. And it's like it does create the ick for sure, like as you're watching this film, but it's also a key scene, like this is who this guy is. We're not supposed to like him. It's supposed to show him as like a despicable human being, right?
No, but you could have done this scene in a way that wasn't as horrific. This could have done, he could not have got her drunk. He could have done other things to make it more gentle. Perhaps he's a good looking guy. Perhaps he could have charmed her. And
Are you
not to
talking
say
about like as
that
an artistic choice for the film, or are you talking about like the character? Like, are you like kind of like getting into the head of the character and like
both
talking
the
about how he could
character
have
and
done
the
it for
artistic choice for the film to
the film?
be that close to the source material. Like there were just
Okay.
other ways in which the character could have gone about this that would have made it less of a blackmail situation and more of a I'm just manipulating this girl, but in the end it's her choice.
Was it her choice in the book?
No.
I don't think it's the choice in any of these scenarios. Like, in every single version of this, she has very little agency at all.
Right.
Like,
And it's also weird in a way, and we can maybe chalk this up to another sin, but the way that they kind of promote Cecile's innocence is that they make her a dumbass.
oh yeah, no, I wrote that down too. Like, they almost seem to justify it because she's so dumb.
And no hate towards Selma Blair or anything like that. Like she does a great job.
Yeah.
She's really great with the role. It's just that they portrayed innocence as being not just naive, but that you're an idiot because of it.
Right. She's like almost too dumb to live. Like they make her like just the comic relief. She has absolutely no dignity throughout the entire film. She is tossed around. She's treated as a plaything. I mean, and kind of like building on that whole thing is like another problematic element is the fact that she likes it in the end. And that is consistent throughout like all the versions of this is that she's basically raped in the 1988 film, and then in this one she's heavily manipulated and he kind of like starts to like go down her, and then of course like she was like telling Katherine afterwards that she liked it a lot and that she had an orgasm and that's what orgasms are, and it's just the whole like but she liked it thing,
Catherine's
is
like, oh, you're a woman now because you
yeah.
had an orgasm and now you're a woman. And yeah, and it's like dual manipulation. And again, it's like a matter of the fact that I understand this part of the revenge plot. The revenge plot was always there. It's always going to be there in any version of this that you film.
For sure.
And in the book, in the movies, he justifies it as educating her, and she gets super into her education lessons.
Right.
And in here, it's not really done as education. It's just that plot point is taken away.
Right.
And so you don't really see other scenes really where she's enjoying it as much, just towards the end.
Well, and like in this one, that's like she gets super duper into it, and she's almost like forcing him.
Right.
Next,
She throws
right?
she throws herself at him. And then,
Right. And he's just like not into it anymore. So that's like another key difference, I think.
That's the first issue. And that kind of rolls into the larger issue, which is the entire premise of the movie, which I don't feel like we need to take apart. It's just that it's there because overall, the movie is about a bet, and it's using women as currency, and whether or not Annette's virginity and this calculated pursuit of both Cecile and Annette, and there's a level of consent, and neither of these women, as you said before, either have a lot of agency. It makes it sound where Annette has a little bit more, but she eventually just falls into his trap as well. And that seems like that was always going to be the situation.
Right. I mean, this is about bad people being terrible, right? Like, so it's like, it's hard for me to even say that like the premise is problematic, because that's just who these people are, right? Like they do objectify people. They use them as their playthings. They are pieces on a chessboard to them for funsies, right?
Sure.
I think that like one of the bigger issues that you pointed out was like the women as currency thing. And also, well, I don't know if you're going to get to this actually, but I mean, if you want to discuss it now, we can, or we can delay it. But the idea that Katherine is the only one that pays, like that has to pay her dues for what she's done.
Oh, yeah, there's a double standard here.
Yeah.
And he gets off the hook because he dies.
Right. Right. It's like,
And
whoopsie, you got
apparently
hit by a
once
car.
you're dead, that's fine. It's like all
Yeah.
sins forgiven. But
Right.
she is left holding the bag.
Mm-hmm.
And so he gets his revenge beyond the grave, and he gets all the women that he seduced to help him.
Right.
And
And I
in the
mean,
end, like her characterization, she leans into the idea of an evil seductress stereotype and reinforces these kind of old tropes about female sexuality being dangerous, and therefore
mhm.
she has to pay, so she becomes a fallen woman.
And that women are ultimately evil and have to bear the responsibility for their wrongdoing as well as the men around them who are doing the same thing.
Right. Like nothing happens to Ronald, and Ronald slept with a bunch of women. He
Yeah,
slept with
Ronald
both
is no
Catherine.
angel in this. No.
Yeah, like all the other men, like all of their other cohorts in this are all manipulators. They're all using sex as a tool,
Mm-hmm.
and she's the only one that pays.
Right. That seemed unfair to me because Sebastian, it's like you can blame Katherine all you want for her manipulating him, which she does. She totally does. And she uses him as her ultimate plaything, which is, I don't know, made me smile a little bit. But
Listen, I like Catherine. Okay. She has awesome accessories.
She does have awesome accessories. And you know what? It's like you have to admire her confidence. I mean, she's terrible, but she's also very smart. This guy is like putty in her hands. And she's way better at this than he is, or so she thinks. For the most part, she is. Like another thing is that they make her seem incapable of love. Like he's like the only one who can change. And he changes kind of, but then fucks over the woman that he's in love with. And then he's supposed to come back and leave like a sobby voicemail or whatever the fuck. And he's supposed to be forgiven.
And that's just
And that makes Annette look stupid.
But on top of that, like how they portray themselves, like public facing, because like Sebastian's always been a cad. Like,
Right.
so he's always gone out there. He has a terrible reputation. All the mothers warn their daughters about him, and he knows. Whereas Catherine does a better job because she's smarter than he is. And
Right.
keeps it under wraps. So she has this outward portrayal of someone that's innocent and pure, and all the adults love her and they give her designer dresses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But she's pure evil, if not worse than Sebastian, because she's just better at manipulation.
Right. And she doesn't have a conscience. Like they allude to him like having way more of a conscience, but I think like if I was like in Annette's shoes and like this guy completely seduces me and puts on this act, which it was for most of it. He totally lied to her to get into her pants. Gets
Right.
into said pants and then like happens to fall in love with her and then listens to Katherine for some odd reason and goes and breaks her heart all over again. Like if I'm Annette, I'm like, I'm not believing a fucking word you're saying, man. Like I do not believe you at all. I don't think that just like walking like a sullen dude in front of her apartment building is like enough to get me back. You know what I mean? So in the end, it made Annette seem just kind of like I don't know, like somebody who could be easily duped and manipulated, even to the end.
She wrote an essay about how high her morals are, and she gave them up in like less than a month.
I know. I
Yeah,
know.
I don't know what the time frame was on this. I was trying to get that down. Like, how long did it take for him from meeting her to seducing her? But it was over the time of summer, so school didn't start
Right.
yet, but school was about to start.
Right.
So
So it was
less
like
than a month.
it was probably like a couple of months, maybe.
I thought maybe like 2 weeks, 3 weeks tops.
You think it was that fast?
I do, because she arrived at the end of summer.
Oh, I want to give Annette so much more credit for that. Like in my heart, I want to. Like I want to give her more time to like change her mind.
At least wait
I'm
until the
hoping that it doesn't
magazine
happen
is,
that
like,
fast.
off the racks.
What's that?
Wait until the magazine that she wrote for is like off the racks, because I think they're still selling it.
Maybe. Oh, okay. Maybe you do have a point there. I don't remember how long magazines stay. Was 17 magazine a monthly?
Yes. I believe so.
Okay.
Sassy Magazine was a monthly, so I'll just put it in that category as yes.
Okay. I don't remember which. I remember like there was 17. I remember Bop magazine.
I don't know when Teen Vogue came out, but
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't think I ever read Teen Vogue. But yeah, this was supposed to be 2017. I hope that it took her more than 2 weeks to just completely drop everything she believed in.
All right, let's say 6 weeks.
After a casual conversation with her closeted gay best friend from Kansas City, Greg.
Yes. There is another issue with how the queer community is portrayed in this film.
Oh, it is front-loaded with homophobia.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it is so front-loaded. I mean,
if it's not homophobic, then it's just queer baiting. Or it's like performative queerness.
Yeah. I mean, look at Joshua Jackson. It's like, I mean, I have to admit.
The blonde highlights alone are like a sin.
I agree. I think at the time that this film came out, I think I found it really amusing that Pacey was playing a gay man in a movie this campy. I think that this like movie was kind of like testing the limits of all these actors and like flipping like their personas, like their known personas on their head a bit, you know?
Except for Reese Witherspoon,
for Reese Witherspoon, right? Who is like American every girl, you know, but like Ryan Phillipe was like this all-American pretty boy type, you know, like seemed like really sensitive and whatever. And then, you know, Sarah Michelle Gellar, I don't think she'd ever played a part like this ever. Like, I think that this was like the first time she like went full villain.
Yeah, she was still doing Buffy at the time.
Right.
And so she wanted something that was not Buffy. She didn't want to play a hero or a nice person. She wanted to go outside of that realm. And she did a great job.
She did an incredible job. No, she like... The scenery chewing in this film is off the frickin' charts. She's incredible. I love her as Katherine. She's perfect. She's perfect.
She has great monologues. She's got great fashion taste. They put her in that really tasteful room.
She looks like she's having a blast in this movie.
Yeah.
And Ryan Phillipe is like a little bit more on the fence with, because it seems like he's just trying to do like a John Malkovich impersonation, like with the voice and everything.
Stiff.
A little stiff. I think that like in the moments like where he's like feeling something for Annette, like he's very good, right? Like when he's like breaking down or he's like conflicted, I was like, oh, that's good. Like that's good Ryan Phillipe acting. I wasn't necessarily a fan, and it still kind of irks me a little bit, like the John Malkovich voice, because it sounds like a little bit too pompous for a teenager, but I don't know. What do I know?
It's like a slow, deliberate reading of every line.
Yes.
So that almost feels like I'm going to make every single word I say sound like a dagger. And you're like, nah, dude, you're just coming off as weird. Like you're
not necessary, my guy.
It's conversational.
Yeah, no, not at all.
You know, you just everything you say makes you sound like an evil mustache twirling villain. He does. And it's like at a certain point, I just kind of wish that he would just speak normally, but I don't know. Whatever. That's like a gripe I have, I guess. It's a small gripe, but it's fine. It like for what it is, he could have done a little better, because at least Katherine had like she would like code switch with depending on who she talked to.
Right.
And he didn't. He just stayed in this one like Snidely Whiplash mode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so going back to the homophobia for a second.
Sure.
So what parts sure, this is what we do. What parts did you point out as being particularly
performative queerness, which is Cecile and Catherine's kiss, which was simply there not because anybody had feelings for each other, and it was just there for the male gaze. And
for sure.
Yeah. So there's no point in that. And I do realize that they won an MTV Movie Award for it, for Best Kiss. So, you know, they got their kudos.
It was well deserved. I mean, I remember when I first saw this film in the theater, I mean, first of all, it was like one of the most raucous crowds I had been in a while. It was just like up there with like Wild Things and South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut in terms of like just pure rowdiness from the crowd. And like when Sarah Michelle Gellar and Selma Blair make out, they were losing their minds. Like everybody was super into it. I mean, and I think it's just because, once again, it's like from the jump, like this film is announcing what it is. And it is just like giving the finger to all of us and saying, we're going to just do the craziest shit. And we're going to make this campy as hell. And it's going to be problematic as hell, but we're going to fully own it. And we're going to put it right in front of you. And so, you know, this was meant for titillation alone.
Right.
The kiss. Yeah.
In the original script, there was far more homophobia.
Really? How's that possible?
I can't even tell you some of it because it like uses the hard F.
Like, I mean, she uses the hard F.
Yes, okay, so there's a scene that was in the original script where I believe he was on the phone with Annette, and while he was on the phone with her, he had 2 babes with him in the bed.
Okay.
And so he was like just finished a three-way. And so he goes to write in his journal, and one of the girls that he's with says, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "I'm writing in my journal." And she says, "Books are for." Yeah.
Right.
And he's all like, "I
Okay.
weep for this generation." And they cut that scene out because I think it
I mean,
made him look slimier than he already is.
I don't know how that's possible, but I mean, it also wouldn't have added anything to the movie anyways,
No.
because it's like, yeah, we get it. Like, we get that he's a playboy and that this is what he does. So I'm not sure we would have learned anything more about the character by adding that scene that would have made it worth it to add even more homophobia to it, right? So,
Correct.
yeah.
Correct.
What do we
There's
think
also
of? Oh, go
yes.
ahead.
I was
No,
gonna
no, no, you
say
go.
I was gonna say the next point, which is the also it leads you into the glamorization of toxic behavior. Which is my favorite sin because that's actually one that I read a lot on online. I went to a lot of forums to see what people were
Hmm.
bitching about. And they were like, yeah, it's the for online viewers, especially on TikTok and Reddit, they criticized how the movie was morally bankrupt, allowing morally bankrupt characters to seem as someone glamorous or someone you should envy and that you should want those lives.
I don't know if it does that though. I don't want these people in my life. I don't want to be them at all. Like, I think that they're rich. I think that they're wealthy. I think that they're very pretty. But I think I don't like any of these people. Like, I think like Annette is, likable. I don't think it's trying to promote the things that Sebastian and Katherine are doing at all. I think that they're trying to make them look as terrible as possible. And so, like, at the end, like when, Katherine gets her comeuppance, it's kind of satisfying, even though a little bit unfair, as we've discussed.
I don't
But
disagree with you.
I don't think it's doing that at all. I disagree with the discourse online
Yeah,
because
I don't disagree with you. I just had to mention it because it was
no,
something that was noticed. And like a lot of people and it probably, maybe was made without context or maybe they didn't know the original material or whatever the situation was, but it was heavily criticized.
right. No, I mean, and like, I guess I would expect that in today's day and age, people being critical of bad people appearing on film. But I mean, it's like, I think that, you know, it's really rare for a film to focus in on people this terrible as its central figures, just watching them fuck people over. But I think that's also what's kind of special about it in a way, because you don't get films like this. You really don't get films like where there are people this villainous that we have to watch mess with people, and they also have to be kind of entertaining to watch, right?
I often see this film and I don't agree with this at all, but compared to Clueless.
Okay.
And mostly it's just because they're both adapted from books, they're both modern interpretations. It shows the elite in high school.
Mhm.
It doesn't, but it's just the two are often lumped together. And I
Sure.
feel that that's truly unfair because I think that Clueless is a movie without villains.
Right. Everybody's so good natured.
Like, yeah, maybe Amber is a little bit like standoffish and kind of brutal in her criticisms, but she's still a nice person. She's still
Yeah.
like,
I
you
mean, look,
know,
I mean, they're flawed but good natured people in Clueless,
right.
right? These people are not good natures
No,
whatsoever.
no.
Any time that they seem good natured, it is all a manipulation. Like, it is never authentic, ever. So, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. It's totally not fair to compare the two films. They're trying to do two completely different things, too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, sure, the characters are based in high school and it's about setting people up and it's like about relationships and love and everything. But in this one, it's all like sex as a weapon and manipulating people and lying to people and like bending people to your will. And, it's just, it's all terrible behavior.
And it's
Whereas in
everybody in
Clueless, I
the
don't see
film.
that much. What?
Yeah. Everybody in this film acts that way. Like Joshua
Yeah,
Jackson acts that way. Like he
right.
manipulates, he threatens to out his lover and then purposely puts him in a situation where he's like, "Oh, you know what? That was the wrong guy. I got him mixed up.
Sorry, I know.
Sorry,
Sorry.
oopsie."
Can I just say something? This might be problematic of me to say, but I love Blaine.
Oh no, I want Blaine as my friend.
Yeah.
I want to go to brunch with
Blaine
Blaine.
Tuttle is the best. No, I want to watch Spartacus with Blaine.
Yeah.
I totally want to do that. Like, ditch Greg. I'll come over and watch it with you. Because he just seems like, I don't know. I just loved the ease with which he glides through life and is just like, oh yeah, just like he's like rolling his joints. He's selling marijuana. He's like hooking up with football players. It's just like he's living the dream.
I want a Rosencrantz and Guildenstern situation, but with Blaine. I want to hear this entire movie from Blaine's point of view, where everything is just happening in the background. It's just Blaine's world.
Yeah, Blaine's world, world, party time. No, I'm sure that this character gets a lot of criticism, but I don't know. I thought he was like one of the most fun parts of the movie in a way.
Yeah,
because he was just like, I mean,
and
he's just so catty and great.
That's the thing with this movie, though. The movie is a lot of fun. So even though everybody is slightly evil and unrealistic in where they live and how they dress and how they talk and their motives and like with how they keep busy in the summer months.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean,
it's a
and I think that if
crazy,
you're
over the top, fun, campy film.
Yeah. And I think that if you're going to,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, like, if you're going to focus on people being this awful, like they're really awful, then you might as well just go full bore, like horrible person and be wildly entertaining in the process. Just like, like you can tell that they're kind of having fun with this film. You know, all the actors in it, like everybody just seems like they're having a ton of fun.
If you break it down and you're going to go that serious about this film, then you have to break down the fact that, as we mentioned before, everybody in this movie is fucking 16 and 17 years old. They're all children. They all went to each other's bar and bat mitzvahs. They all went to like years of school together. And like literally they're just 3 years out from like watching Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, I know that that's what they're supposed to be, but still, like I said before.
No, well, they cast a bunch of 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds. There's a couple people roaming that high school. And I'm like, you're like 42. I don't know what you're doing here.
They do not present as high schoolers at all. Which I think is what makes it slightly more comfortable than it would have been if they actually looked like it. Like, I think that the film works partially because they don't seem like true teenagers.
I also have an issue with suspending. Listen, I can suspend my disbelief long enough for I believe, like, yes, all these kids are 17 years old. They all live by themselves in a penthouse in New York with gargantuan amounts of money, driving Jaguars and fucking each other. I do not believe that Sebastian got killed by that car, not even for a minute. I've rewatched that scene like 1,000
He didn't even
times.
get hit that hard.
No, he's like Mr. Glass from an M. Night Shyamalan movie. He's just falling apart like instantly. He's a resilient 17 years old. He should be able to walk that off, or at least just have a broken leg or a couple broken.
Yeah,
but like he wasn't even bleeding that profusely. There was no damage to the car. Like if you really realize that scene, you're like, nah, he just faked his death.
There were like a couple of cracks in the windshield. That's it. Like it wasn't even like, and I think the driver tried to stop, right? Like so he wasn't even going full speed.
I don't even remember the driver getting out of the car.
Right. No, I don't think he did. I think it was just like Annette and Ronald kind of like standing over the body.
Yeah, I guess that guy's so used to hitting 17-year-olds with his car all day that it's just not even going to fathom it. Like, I'm not getting after this one. I ran over 3 others.
Oh my gosh. Shall we talk about the ending a little bit?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
So, do you want to talk about starting with?
No, you go for it.
Death?
Yes, I do want to talk. Okay, I want to and I do want to kind of like point to some differences between Dangerous Liaisons in this film in terms of the end.
One of the real faults of this movie is the fact that it doesn't show Katherine saddened or upset by the death of Sebastian. It was all either according to plan, but it makes it seem more sinister than it is. And he died by accident and he's dead and that's tragedy. But there's no it's like she didn't feel anything for him, and
Right.
that's where this movie kind of falters a little bit, I feel, because I feel
Yeah.
like with all the time they spent together, with as close as they got, and even though they were angry at each other and they had declared war on each other, that at some point, like, his death would have affected her because they were so close, and she
Mhm.
just comes off as such an evil bitch because she's just
Right.
using it now at this point in order to gain more points on her popularity.
Right. Which makes it even worse than Dangerous Liaisons because in that film, Glenn Close is shown having a complete freak out.
Yeah, she's
Because
bereaved.
yeah, she's like throwing stuff, she's like knocking stuff off of like her vanity table and everything. She's like clawing at her chest. She's like hysterical when she
'Cause
finds out that he died.
I think, like, because that wasn't according to her plan. Her plan was never for him to die. It was just to
Right.
be humiliated, and then she
Right.
would keep him as a pet and
Right.
see him in secret or doing something along those lines. Where here, like Catherine just does not give a shit.
No. She's like in the bathroom, she's like doing her bump of coke out of her crucifix. Her coke
And
crucifix.
listen, I'm not gonna king shame anybody's way to mourn or grieve. If you're
Who
doing
hasn't
huge
done a
amounts
little
of
coke whenever
huge
you're
copious
grieving the death
amounts
of
of cocaine is what gets you through the hard times, then so
Yeah,
be it. But she's
don't judge
not.
how people grieve. People process grief in completely different ways. You're correct.
Yeah, but like she wasn't grieving. She just wasn't. She just did not care. And
Right.
she
She did
only
not she didn't.
cries when she's caught and they
Right.
take her
Right.
cocaine away.
Right. And also, I mean, like another difference in the ending here that bothers me a bit is that okay, in Dangerous Liaisons, Madame de Tourvel, which is played by Michelle Pfeiffer, who is like the Annette character, she gets so ill from heartbreak. Like she's like dying of a broken heart, right? And like she goes
Right.
to this place where they're like cupping her and everything. And after, John Malkovich's character loses the duel with Keanu Reeves, his character, which I still chuckle when I think back to Keanu Reeves being in that movie. But Keanu Reeves like stabs him. He dies. He gives him the letters, and he wants to get a letter to Madame de Tourvel. There's a scene where she's being read the letter. Like you can't really hear like what they're saying, but there's like a nun or something like reading the letter to her, and she's just like, enough. And she just says, draw the curtains. It's like she's like, I've heard enough of this guy. Fuck that dude. Like, I just need to die now. Like that's her end.
Right.
Is just like saying, giving this guy the finger, after he's died, which I think is totally appropriate given like what he put her through. I would have loved to have seen that in this one because she doesn't even get like a real apology from the face. He just says like, I love you again. And all is forgiven for all the fucked up shit that he did. Like, it just doesn't track for me. Like, it
I
just
want
makes
to give
Annette look stupid.
I want to give the movie the benefit of the doubt and say maybe he wrote it in the journal and she read the journal. Maybe? Like he had wrote
I
his
mean,
real feelings in there.
even so, it's like, why would you believe this guy
No, I
after
wouldn't.
all the shit
No.
that he's done?
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
And so, like, I wish that she would have just like, I don't know, taken a bat to his car instead of driving off in it or something,
I also don't understand, and this is just me, and it really has nothing to do with what we're discussing about, but I didn't understand the logistics of how she got the car.
Was
Like,
it left to her in a will or something?
I didn't write a will. What 17-year-old is writing wills? He wasn't
17-year-olds was
expecting to die. He wasn't having like a long disease. He's like, did she
True.
just steal the car? Because that makes me like Annette more. Like if she just kind of drove off.
Maybe we can retcon this a little bit. Maybe she was just like, fuck you, I'm taking your car, bitch. Like she just drives off in
because
it.
it's like I get that it symbolizes that she won in the end, and that's why she gets the car. But like,
Right.
like New York laws aside, like that isn't her car. It's at the most it's his parent.
really
Reverts back to his parents, and they're not going to let her drive off with like what's $100,000 roadster.
Right. Right. Yeah. That part, I don't know. They make it seem like she just totally forgave him and was totally on his side by the end, which, if anything, that journal should prove that he's just as terrible as Catherine. Like
Right.
the only redemptive arc he has is that he fell in love. That's it.
And is that enough to forgive all the sins? Is
Right.
what this movie is telling us. Like,
Right.
does love conquer all?
Right.
And the truth is like it doesn't conquer all. Katherine was punished unfairly compared to what she did, compared to what Sebastian did, and or any other male character in this film. And it's just left with every single girl in it has their reputation destroyed. Because in
Right.
the end, because this journal got out, Annette's reputation is destroyed, Cecile's reputation is destroyed, although Cecile seems to be owning it.
Yeah. Right.
And everybody else is just only Katherine goes down for this. But like, was Blaine mentioned in there? I didn't see him at the end. He doesn't pop back up and get any kind of retribution.
Right.
And
I don't think that, like, Blaine is, he comes and goes. Like, he's just like, a side character that we really enjoy. I don't know.
yeah, I
don't know if he was
And I'm
affected
putting
by
too much
any of
thought
this.
behind this, like with how like property is passed in New York and like what happened to Blaine. But like that's the fun part of this. It's really dissecting this movie and taking it apart for its silliness.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. But yeah, I mean, in the end, I don't know. I feel like Katherine deserved everything that she got. But Sebastian's legacy should not have been saved by that journal at all. If anything, it should be an indictment on him just as much as it is on her.
Right.
And it's not treated that way. In the end, it's like she's the bitch, she's the villain, even though they were totally in cahoots with one another doing all this terrible shit to people. And she pays the price because she has to live with it. Like Sebastian like accidentally got hit by a car. Like it's not even, I don't know. It's just kind of like a lame way to go out.
It's almost like she's punished for having like we throw around the word agency a lot, but
Yeah.
like we're almost like she's punished for knowing who she is and saying no to him, because in the end, like when he goes back and demands his payment from her,
Right.
he's like, now I get to have anal sex with you.
Right.
That's my payment.
And she was
she's
just like,
no.
just kidding.
Yeah, she's like, absolutely not. I don't sleep with losers, and you're a loser.
Yeah.
You're a loser because you fell into my trap. And this was never really about Annette or anybody else, but it was about how can I manipulate you? And I got you to fall in love with Annette and throw aside your whole persona. And fuck
And
you
then go
for
and break
being
her heart.
Yeah. And then the fuck you for like for being a better person.
Totally.
Yeah. So she doesn't really like, just because she is able to say no to him and then he feels the need to lash out, he starts to spiral. And then it was only then that he went back and said, now I've got to say I'm sorry to Annette because I didn't get anal sex.
Right. Yeah. Damn it. Now I have to go and apologize. It sucks.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there anything else on your list?
Like I did jot this down and we talked about it briefly in the beginning of this, but it was just has to do with the quote unquote edgy dialogue. And how it doesn't really represent life in any way, shape, or form.
Example?
Well, like everybody kind of goes into these try hard, pretentious kind of monologues. And it's like, yeah, you kids are listen, your education is very expensive. And I get that you can throw out these references left and right, but it just doesn't sound like conversation.
Did they go full Dawson's Creek?
Yeah. It comes off as true tryhard. Everybody's talking like a movie villain except for Annette. And then Annette comes off as the only innocent here. And then everybody else is either a moron or they're a villain. And that's how their dialogue reflects that.
Right.
And those that are major villains have big monologues. And all of their monologues come off as super pretentious.
For sure. But I think that just deepens our hatred for them. It's just like, you're such a pretentious dick. Like I think that's part of like why it works in a sick way, is that serves to just make us dislike them more.
Yeah,
right?
No, that's why the movie totally works from a viewer point of view. It's because everybody's Alexis. Everybody is like evil Alexis from Dynasty. There's no, like the only two people that are Crystal is like Annette and Cecile, and like
but Cecile is like, even like she's like an idiot though.
Yeah.
And they almost make it out to seem like she deserves everything that she got just simply because she's dumb.
Like, in all the other versions in like 1989's Valmont and in Dangerous Liaisons, like Annette isn't an idiot. She's just was raised by nuns.
Right.
You,
Yeah.
you get a pass. You're raised
Yeah,
by
she's
nuns,
very
you probably get a
pious.
pass.
Yes. Yeah, no, I mean, for sure. No, Annette totally gets a pass. Like, she's not stupid at all. I think that Cecile's character is, like, comically dumb.
Yeah.
And Uma Thurman's character in Dangerous Liaisons was not that. She was just a pure innocent.
Right,
Like, I don't think that
exactly.
she came off as, like, dumb, which made it even worse, like, with the scene, like, that we talked about, like, with John Malkovich. But in this one, it almost, like, they made her so incredibly stupid and slapstick and comical that it's almost as if we can't take seriously anything that happens to her in a way.
No, it's the way like she portrays herself. Like she goes, "Oh, you're not a real model," so she starts doing over the top modeling scenes that makes her
Right.
look really childish.
Right.
They throw in her koala T-shirt, like, and it's just all these things that come off as child.
Yes.
And then when she starts having sex, it's a very steep fall for her, where she goes immediately from child to sex pot.
Right. Like inept sex pot even.
Yeah.
Like she's just like still a very spastic, like unserious person. And I mean, it's fine, right? It's like if she's supposed to be comic relief, it's fine. I just think that what it kind of communicates to the audience is that this girl is like too dumb to live almost, and so whatever happens to her,
Should we
like it's not treated with any degree of seriousness whatsoever. So
we almost forgot racism.
Oh, wait. Okay, wait. You talk. This is interesting. Talk to me. Talk to me about racism.
It's how Ronald is treated, and both by Christine Baranski's character and then the rest of the cast as well. He is not a friend. He's not a peer. And he's not treated like either of those things. And he makes the point himself. He's all like, I grew up right down the street, man. He's like, I am absolutely no different than you.
Yeah, she's just like, I pulled you off the street. Like, as only Christine Baranski can deliver, like, elite white woman racism. It's like, it's so perfect.
It's so good.
It's so perfect. She's so great. She's just like, I pulled you off the street. And he goes, like, I lived at 56th and Park. She's like, whatever.
He's like, I'm wealthy too. I'll go to the same prep schools your daughter went to. It's like, what are you talking about, you crazy ass white woman?
Right. I mean, I think the thing that's interesting though is that in the original film, like Keanu Reeves is this character, right? And he does the same shit, right? He's just not black. He's kind of like looked down upon. He's not looked at as like, he's like kind of like, I think they mentioned something about him being like a pauper or something, right?
It's classism.
Yes.
They just swapped out classism for racism.
Right. But like, yeah, I think like the way that I read that whole scene with Christine Baranski is like, it's making fun of her more than it's making fun of him.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No. She's not the villain. She's just a hurdle.
She's a hurdle. She's ignorant. She's classist. She's racist, obviously, And I mean, that despite the blatant racism, it's a pretty funny scene. Only because Christine Baranski is as great as she is. Yeah. Like she's incredible. And she plays that part so fucking well. But yeah, I mean, I think that's like part of like the modernization of it. It's like in New York, it's like you have a very diverse group of people, you a diverse populace and everything. And so it made sense to kind of make him black to kind of prove a point about this society and like how they interact with people that don't look like them, right? But yeah, it's a sticky one. It's like I'm not sure how to feel exactly about it. Like part of me thinks like, yeah, this is just meant to expose like the racism of those types of people, but at the same time, it's like, what was the intent, behind making him black? Was that the only thing, or was it something else?
No, I think that was the only thing. I think they could have done that scene without having to lean into race and just made it simply about class again.
They could have.
They brought in someone from a public school. They brought in someone. It
Mhm.
was someone that that they knew peripherally. It's just that they went that decision, and so because of that. And then again, once again, Ronald doesn't really have a decision. He doesn't really have a personality outside of how he's being manipulated.
Right.
So he's either seen as a fuck toy by Catherine,
Right.
or the love of the life by Cecile, or
Mhm.
just another pawn by Sebastian. And
And
those
he's not necessarily the best person either. Like he's just they make him like he's first like this kind of like innocent noble character, but then he like falls for Catherine's manipulations, or maybe she didn't even have to manipulate him that much, you know? It's like but they wind up sleeping together even though he's supposedly in love with Cecile, you
right.
know.
Oh, there's
And
no one is an angel here, not even
no.
Annette. She's a car thief. That's my hot take.
That I don't know if that's hot to take. I think that that is an astute observation. Well done, Aaron. Okay, any other sins?
Those are all the ones that I had jotted down. Which ones
Mhm.
did you come up with? Anything that I
No,
missed?
those were basically mine. It was like, I mean, I think, we hit on like, Sebastian, like one thing I did write down was like Sebastian is like very handsy. Like he just has no respect for people for women's personal space at all. He's just
Right.
like constantly grabbing them, like even like when he first like meets Annette, he's like taking her off the horse and everything, and then the pool he's like stroking her shoulder, and I don't know, it was just gross.
I mean, I guess we can throw in some slut shaming from that first opening scene.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for
with
sure.
Tara Reid.
Yes. Oh, Tara Reid. I hadn't seen her in forever. It was actually I was just actually like, a little bit excited to see Tara Reid.
I was like, I forgot Tara Reid was in this.
Right.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yay!
Uh-huh.
There you are.
Oh, and by the way, fun fact: Swoosie Kurtz, who plays the therapist,
Right.
was also in Dangerous Liaisons.
She was. She plays the mother of Uma Thurman.
She plays the Mrs. Caldwell.
Yes.
Yes, who is like giving all of Sebastian's secrets to Annette, and that makes her like wary of him at first. So I like that. I love that little bit of surprise casting.
Yeah, it was clever casting.
Very clever. I loved it. But no, I think that we covered everything. I'm pretty sure. Like, I think that we had the same sins. So now we can move on to Chuck or Cherish.
Oh, Cherish.
I know. Oh, yeah. So fast, Cherish. I mean, it
Cherish.
is like the campiest, like most over the top, like so bad it's good type of movie. It's just a ton of fun. You can tell they're having fun with it. We're not supposed to like these people, but like they pull off this hat trick, like where, in a completely different way from like the original movie, but like you're just like sucked in by these two main characters, like they're fascinating to watch. And even though they're pure evil and like terrible people, like the film is just having so much fun with this subject matter that it's hard not to have fun with it. It does have some problems. It's problematic in some areas, but at the same time, I think they just gave zero fucks. Like they were just like, we're just going to do this and we're not going to apologize for it and deal with it because this is like the universe that these people live in. They talk like this. They use the F word when they talk about gay people. They're racist. They're all of these things. But in the context of what they're trying to do with it making this fun, it totally works.
I don't disagree with any of that. It's just everybody is cartoony evil.
Yes.
It's just so bizarre and over the top and so distant from where reality is that you're fine just living in this bizarre penthouse world where
Right.
people go from their lush existence into immediately hating each other at the drop of a hat, and then they have to destroy their entire lives through sex. And you know what? I'm fine watching. It's
Mission
great.
accomplished.
Mission
you know?
accomplished. It's a great watch.
It is a great watch. I hadn't watched this in forever. I was super excited to rewatch it because I like that the theater experience like stuck with me. Like everybody was just having a blast in my movie theater when I saw this film, and so it was fun to relive that even by myself in my living room. So
Have you seen any of the sequels?
no.
You're fine. Do not go there. There is a prequel. That's the sequel to this. Is a prequel to it with
Okay.
Amy Adams as Catherine.
Okay. I love Amy
And-
Adams actually.
Yeah. You're not gonna like her in this.
Okay. I'm almost like now I'm fascinated. Now I feel like
Oh,
I need to watch them.
Okay. Tell you what. Go watch them.
Okay.
and then come back to me, and then I will apologize.
And then punch you in the face.
Yeah, and like you're gonna just punch me directly in the face. You're like, why did this happen? Because they take the camp to the next level, and this was that perfect level of camp, and because they took it to that next level, it just comes off as bad.
Right. Okay. All right. I'm curious. If I have time, I'll watch it.
Yeah. The fact that we live in a Cruel Intentions universe now, because there's now also there were 3 series based on Dangerous Liaisons in the last 3 or 4 years.
Why? Like, why is it making a resurgence?
One was the TV show just called Cruel Intentions.
Right. I remember that one.
Was kind of bad.
Right.
Not great.
Right.
And then there were 2 other series, and one was a prequel series, and the other one I want to say is just a direct adaptation series.
Okay.
And they were all either ranged from fine to terrible. But almost all of them were kind of unnecessary.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm glad that the audience knows about these now, at least. They can make up their own mind. I might.
Yeah, no,
watch
you
them.
should watch all of them. Because if anything, you are supporting actors and people who created it, and they all worked really hard to make that garbage come to life.
We like to support artists no matter what, right?
Yeah, and so support them. And I hope that they all went on to better projects.
I hope they did too, from the sound of it.
Yeah.
From how you're describing it, I hope that they got something better afterwards. Okay, so I think that we're wrapped. Like, we've talked about why we cherish it. Do you have any closing remarks, Erin?
Car thief. Fucking car thief. Like, I hope that what they cut out was like 8 patrol cars chasing her on that freeway at the end. Also, she ditched out on his funeral, man.
I know.
She left the funeral. So she did an Irish goodbye, and she left, like, took off in
that
car.
Love? I don't think so.
So
I don't think
she's the new Katherine.
Well, she also just like ruined the funeral.
Yes.
Right? How was she hiding out in the... I don't want to get into this maybe, but she was just casually hiding out in the bathroom stall when Katherine
she went to the funeral, and this opted not to attend.
She went to the bathroom to just ambush Katherine and be snarky with her. And that's it. Like, I don't know how she knew she was going to go to the bathroom, but whatever.
Well, she was just there, and then she's like, "Oh, we've never met before. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm about to destroy your life in 30 seconds. Bye.
Bye.
Bye."
Funeral ruined.
I snatched his keys off his cold, dead corpse.
Maybe that's how she got the car.
That's how she got the car. I'm telling you right now, that
makes a lot of sense, because he's just lying there on the road. Might as well look through his pockets a little bit.
Car
thief. Okay, well, we both cherish this movie. It's awesome. We recommend people revisit it with a fresh set of eyes. But yeah, cherish all the way.
Watch it with Dangerous Liaisons back to back.
Great double feature. Awesome double feature. By the way, Glenn Close and John Malkovich ate in that movie. Like, they are so freaking good. Like, it's my favorite. It's maybe my favorite Glenn Close.
Give 1989's Valmont a try, because that's got Colin Firth in it.
Ooh, I love him.
Yeah.
So watch Valmont, rewatch Cruel Intentions and Dangerous Liaisons as a double feature, and report back to us. Until then, we are signing off, and we will be back with you next week. Say bye, Erin.
Bye, Erin.
Bye, people.
It's in a